Cameras in the courtroom. One of the reasons why I think these confirmation hearings, as painful as they are to the nominee and their family and friends, are so important is I think more people in America have learned about how their government should operate and does operate by watching the last 2 days and you in the dock than they have through all their time in elementary school, high school, junior high school, and college. Most Americans don't really study American history anymore, much less civics. And so I think this is a wonderful opportunity, and I'm glad your students, your team are here on the front row, maybe listening to a few things. Because I think this is really important. If Americans are going to accept responsibility for their government, and if they're going to hold public officials accountable for performing their responsibilities according to the Constitution, they need to be able to understand the sorts of issues we've been talking about here today, and they need to get involved and express themselves. So, to me, cameras in the courtroom I know are controversial on the Supreme Court. I will tell you, and you know this already, many state courts, for example, the Texas Supreme Court, has a fixed camera in the corner. It never moves, and everybody forgets it's there, and nobody grandstands, and they have oral arguments, and the judges do their thing and ask questions, the lawyers give answers, and I think it's another great opportunity for people to see their government in action. And I know the Supreme Court, no cameras in the courtroom. You maybe have a very nice artist rendition of your oral argument. I was given a copy of mine. My staff, when I argued the case we talked about, my staff said, well, we paid $50 to take 5 years and 10 pounds off. And I said, thank you, money well spent. But the point is, I think the American people would learn an awful lot by seeing the Supreme Court in action. And I applaud the action that your court and others have taken to make that more accessible with recordings and the like. But I would hope that that the court would continue to look at the possibility that more and more of its activities would be available to the American people, because not everybody can go across the street and get a nice seat in that wonderful marble palace over there and see the court in action. I think they would be awed. I think they would be impressed, and I think they would learn a lot about how the courts do operate and should operate in our system of government. So I know the O.J. Simpson trial, and I'm showing my age here, gave cameras in the courtroom a bad name, and certainly some of the activities we see at hearings like this, where people know they're going to be on TV camera, encourages them to misbehave and disrupt. That may be the cost of doing business sometimes. I'm confident that the court could control that much better than we in Congress can. But I'd just like for you to take a couple of minutes to comment on that, and how should the judiciary look at this great opportunity to inform and educate the American people about how their government works, and certainly the judiciary, and what the risks you see to the litigants and to the fair administration of justice.
Senator, thank you. First, you mentioned that this, you used the word painful. For me, this has been a great honor to be here, the greatest honor, and for my family to be here. I've enjoyed the discussions with all the senators on the committee. I've enjoyed, and it's continuing, I know, and I've enjoyed it, the 65 meetings. I know this is not my last comment, but I've enjoyed the 65 meetings. I've enjoyed the hearing. It's a great honor. As I've said repeatedly, I'm on the sunrise side of the mountain. I'm an optimist. I see, I'm positive about the future of the judiciary. I'm positive and optimistic about the future of the country. We're always forming a more perfect union, seeking to fulfill the promises of the Constitution. And to be here is a great honor. If you mentioned people watching, if there's one thing they take away, I hope they understand that an independent judiciary is the crown jewel of our constitutional republic, in my view, and that the judiciary has been, must be, and must continue to be independent of politics, that we don't make the policy decisions. We do the best we can to decide the law under the precedent and laws, the precedent of the Supreme Court, the laws passed by Congress. To your point about cameras, I view it as of vital importance going forward, vital importance to maintain the confidence of all Americans in the independence and impartiality of the judiciary. And I know how concerned and focused Chief Justice Roberts is on maintaining confidence, and all the justices on the Supreme Court, maintaining the confidence of all the American people in the independence of the judiciary and the rule of law in the United States of America. And I understand that. I understand the responsibility I bear as a nominee and if confirmed as a justice to do everything I can in everything I do to maintain confidence in the independence of the judiciary going forward. I do agree with you when you watch an oral argument in the Supreme Court and you see the justices in action grappling with cases. It is inspiring to see them in action, grappling, as I've said, not on sitting on different sides of an aisle, not caucusing in different rooms, as one group seeking as best they can to get the right answer under the precedent and laws of the United States. It is inspiring, and it is something, if I am fortunate enough to be there, that I'll give it my all to live up to that responsibility. As I said to Senator Booker, I understand the responsibility I would bear if I were on that court, and I would do everything I can to live up to it and maintain it. As to cameras, consistent with what I've said, I have an open mind on that. I've seen the benefits of live audio, but I would want to listen first, listen to the 8 justices who are there and have thought about it and have experienced it. But I have an open mind, and I will close with this. I want to do everything I can, as I said to the chairman, to maintain confidence of the American people, all the American people, in the independence and impartiality of the judiciary.
Okay, we'll take a 5-minute break.